Okay, here are a couple examples about solving equations. We're going to do about 4 of them. When you solve an equation, you always want to get the variable on the one side all by itself. So that way you want to undo what's being done to your variable. If you look at part A, 8k minus 7 is equal to negative 23. What we want to do first is get rid of that minus 7. So let's add 7 to both sides. Alright, if we add 7 on both sides, the negative 7 and the positive 7 will cancel, and I'll have 8k is equal to a negative 16. Alright, now we're still on the left hand side. You see that 8 times k. The opposite of multiply is divide. So to solve for the k, you want to divide by 8 on both sides, and you will get k is equal to a negative 2. Your answer, and remember you can always check your answers for solving equations by plugging the answer you get back into your original equation, not any of the subsequent steps, and see if both sides are equal. Alright, let's try part B. Part B is x divided by 8 minus 2 is equal to 5. So we want to start by adding 2 to both sides. Alright. So if we add 2, again the minus 2 and the positive 2 will cancel out. The x divided by 8 is still there. 5 plus 2 is 7 on the right. Okay, x is still divided by 8, so to undo division, we want to multiply by 8. Whatever you do on the left-hand side, you want to do on the right. We can write that as 8 over 1. It's still 8. The reason we did it is so it cancels with that one, and you get x equals 56 for this one. Very good. Okay, let's scroll down to the next one. We've got 2 more down here. Let's look at C and D. Woo-hoo. Alright, equation C. Look at equation C, and on the left-hand side there are a set of parentheses. So we want to remove those first, and what you're going to do is distribute. So if you take 2 times that quantity, 3y plus 7, 2 times the 3y, look, is going to give you 6y, plus 2 times 7 will give you 14. Let's keep the right-hand side the same for now. Okay. Now, you see I have a variable term and a constant term on the left, and I have a variable term and a constant term on the right. So the next thing you want to do when solving equations, you want to put your variable terms on one side and your constants on the other. So let's go ahead and subtract 5y. Let's move these to the other side. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the exact same thing to the other side. Alright, 6y minus 5y will just leave me with a y. Let's bring down the plus 14, is still there. On the left, the positive 5y and negative 5y cancel. There's negative 12 there. Okay, now, still on the left, y plus 14. To counteract the addition, let's subtract 14. Alright, now those cancel. Y, that's exactly what I wanted. If you take negative 12 minus 14, we're at negative 26, which is the answer for this one. Again, to check all of these, plug your answer back into the original problem. Alright, let's see if I can scroll down just a little for part D. Alright. Okay, here's part D. I've got 2 sets of parentheses. There's one on the left and one on the right, so let's get rid of both of those first. On the left, distributing, I'll have 15x minus 40. Okay, the plus 11 is on the outside of the parentheses. On the right, 2 minus 2x. Let's distribute this 3. So I'll have a plus 3x and a minus 12. Good. Alright, let's go back on the left, and Next thing we want to do here is if we have any like terms that are on one side of the equation, we will combine those together. So I've got two constant terms here. Let's highlight them. Two constant terms. What's the next thing I'm going to do? I want to combine those together, so my 15x is still there. Negative 40 plus 11 should be a negative 29. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and then on the right hand side we're going to do the same thing, but look, I've got two variable terms and two constant terms. See these variable terms? Right here. And then my constant terms are there. Okay, so we need to combine those. The variable terms, negative 2x plus 3x, is just going to leave me with x. And then that constant will be a negative 10, like that. Alright, now, we're kind of in the same boat that we were in that previous example. Variable term, constant term, variable term, constant term. So what you want to do is move your variables to one side, and it doesn't matter which side you want to move those variables to. Makes no difference. I'll move it to the left-hand side, so 15x minus x is 14x. My 29 is still there. On the right, look, my x is canceled, and I've got a negative 10. Alright, so now, since my variable was on the left-hand side, I need to move that constant to the right-hand side by adding 29 to both sides. Negative 29, positive 29 cancel. My 14x comes down. Negative 10 plus 29 gives me a 19 positive. The only thing left to do is to undo. This is 14 times x. So we need to undo that multiplication by dividing by 14. So my answer, see those 14s cancel, x by itself, that's what I wanted, 19 over 14. You know, this is probably the best way to write your answer. An improper fraction is totally fine. Just make sure it's reduced down all the way. There are no factors common, top and bottom.